Okay, so it looks like we're live. Let me make sure that I've got picture because I have to do that now. Anytime you're ready, StreamYard, YouTube, whoever's holding things up. There we go. Turn on the volume on that. It's bad enough to hear me once. You don't want to have to hear me twice. All right, so we're good to go. We got another Masters Universe Origins unboxing. You know I love opening up Masters Universe Origins. This is the channel that Masters Universe Origins built. The very first unboxing that I did on this channel was the first Masters Universe Origins He-Man figure. So pretty excited to be opening this guy up. This is Necro-Conda, reanimated Snake Man Soldier. Now it's still October, it's still Halloween time, and you know what's creepy? Snake Men. You know what's even creepier? Zombies. You know what's even creepier than that? Zombie Snake Man. Yeah. So a reanimated Snake Man Soldier. This guy is apparently supposed to be an army builder because you see multiples of him on the back here attacking He-Man. You see this character, I forget what her name is. I was never able to get that figure. She's too expensive for me to get now. But you can see her resurrecting. This one's like a spirit up here floating through the air. But there's a lot of different parts in this set. So you can really put this character together however you want to. And that's pretty cool. But he's basically an army builder. So you can build an army of zombie snake men. Oh, and did I mention he glows in the dark? Yes, he does glow in the dark. Bobby Wald says, what is it with, was it in the Lego Batman movie, Snake Clowns? Yeah. What's your biggest fear? Snakes. No, I mean, besides that, no, clowns. Well, what's your biggest fear besides that? Snake clowns. We all know Batman's biggest fear is abandonment. And here we have a card, not a comic book. We got a card. It's one of these deals. So, nice piece of artwork on there with our Necro-Conda. You don't want none unless you got buns, hun. All right. Necro-Conda, reanimated Snake Man Soldier. There's what the back looks like. The Snake Men leave nothing to waste. Every Snake Man Soldier sheds his skin prior to serving in King Hiss's army. The slithering sorceress then reanimates these skins to create undead Necro-Conda, the wriggling wraiths that haunt heroes with their life-draining fangs. So it's not like what I would have thought when they said resurrected, where I would have thought it would just a dead Snake Man they brought back to life. No, it's like their skin. That's creepier somehow. Ugh, gross. So, yeah, this is a glow-in-the-dark figure. So, I do actually today have my flashlight handy, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. There we go. So let's go ahead and hit this guy with the flashlight and see what happens. Maybe it'll be bright enough that it'll show up on camera. How about that? I don't know what all parts of him are glow in the dark. Obviously, these weapons and accessories are molded in glow in the dark plastic. Yeah, you can see a little bit of glow out of that. I'm not sure if this green paint here is glow in the dark, which it would be really cool if it was, but I think it is. Yeah. But it's not quite intense enough to show up on screen like the plastic is. I was able to get the plastic to glow a little bit, even in the light. Let's go ahead and get him out of this package, because there are a lot of parts to discuss with this guy. And I wound up getting 2 of these, because I figured, I'd have some parts to use for customs. Did you really put a rubber tab around the little peg at the top of this thing? That's the little serpent tail. That's annoying. I'm just going to try to get all these rubber tabs from the back. So I'm already sort of. A lot of these are like really deep in the package too. And see, like this one here, behind his hand, I don't even know where that what that attaches to. I don't know where that's supposed to go. Where does it wrap all the way around to? I don't know. And he's got a big old sword, kind of almost like a scimitar-looking sword, but even more sort of curvy and lots of different areas. This is Tila's sword from 2000X, which would have come with Snake Tila, again remolded in glow-in-the-dark plastic. Honestly, I think it's a little small for our Snake Man here. And then this dagger, which I don't know, this looks like it's a Snake Man dagger. But I kind of wish they'd remold this in some light blue plastic. I think that would be really good for Evelyn. And let's see, where are all the other rubber tabs in here? So I can just go ahead and get those out of the way. I might as well just clip them all from the back, since they're all pretty deep in this package. Really annoyingly deep in this package. And I just don't want to have to deal with this nonsense. And he's got a fabric cape, a soft goods fabric cape, thankfully not taped into the package. Maybe Mattel finally stopped doing that. Sean Franklin is here, and he says, hey, I saw Sean Franklin the other day in Skywalker the Jedi stream. So we move in a lot of the same circles, Sean Franklin and I. And then the last accessory is actually attached to the Snake Man, and it's this gauntlet thing. So every part of this guy is reused from something else, and this gauntlet is reused from the Snake Man, He-Man, like his snake armor. I think the loincloth is reused from that He-Man figure as well. If you look closely at the loincloth, the emblem that's on there, the snake emblem that's on there, is not the regular Snake Man emblem. It is the anti-Snake Man emblem. On the good guys' armor, their anti-Snake Man emblem is like a Snake Man emblem with a sword through it, almost like a Ghostbusters kind of symbol, but with like an actual sword. So they got his cape underneath his armor, and underneath the loincloth even. It's no, it's not underneath the loincloth. I thought it was at first, but it's just underneath the armor. And the armor is reused from the Snake Man Skeletor, like his snake armor. Bobby Walt says, I like it when they include soft goods instead of hard plastic capes. I agree, but usually, not always, but usually, Origins come with hard plastic capes, which is strange to me because Masterverse usually comes with soft goods capes. So, you would think it would be, it would be a little more consistent, but I'm glad to have a soft goods cape with this figure. So, and it does give us actually an original accessory, since, like I said, all this guy's parts are reused from other things. I already showed you how this is from something else. Like, these are all like parts that were used on like various Snake Men and things like that previously. Like this came with something else. I forget what this came with, but we're gonna have some fun with all these parts and see what we can put together as far as different looks for this guy. But yeah, this is He-Man's serpent claw thing, whatever you want. Like it's a snake handler thing. It's a thing for him to be able to grab snakes with it, like a pincer. And you can see it comes apart. You can take the pincer part out of it. Because I think on the original toy in 2000X, it was supposed to pop out. Sean Franklin says, do you have Jack Nicholson Joker? I have the old Jack Nicholson Joker from Kenner. I have the Sky Escape Joker. And I have Knockout Joker, which is the one that's hard to find from the Dark Knight collection. I have both of those. Unfortunately, they don't make too many Jack Nicholson Joker figures because of the rights issues. Apparently, the deal that Jack Nicholson has from what I understand, is that if you make a toy of Jack Nicholson as the Joker, like not only does he get some royalties from that Joker figure, but he gets royalties from the entire toy line, which is probably why they changed it from the Dark Knight collection to Batman Returns. Very firm. It wasn't part of the Dark Knight collection anymore, so they didn't have to give Jack Nicholson any more money for their Batman Returns figures. So if say McFarlane did a DC multiverse Jack Nicholson Joker, they'd have to give Jack Nicholson royalties for every DC multiverse figure in perpetuity. So I think they're trying to avoid that, which is why we haven't seen Jack as the Joker yet in that line. I think that they're trying to delay that a little. But I did make my own custom Jack Nicholson Joker, and I actually based my version off of the Sky Escape Joker because he's retired. He's been retired for a while. I think the last movie he made was about Schmidt. That was a while ago. But I made my own Jack Nicholson Joker in McFarlane scale, my own multiverse Jack Nicholson Joker. But since I'm hoping they're still going to put out a proper Jack Nicholson Joker at some point, I'll just show you. Rather than I know where he is. I'll just grab him real quick. Rather than do a movie accurate version of Jack as the Joker, I decided it would be fun to base him on the design from the Sky Escape Joker figure. So that's the Jack Nicholson Joker figure that I made myself. So, and if McFarlane loses the license before they're able to make a movie accurate Jack Nicholson Joker, then I'll make another one of my own. But for now, I think that tides me over. So, and I did make an extra head for him that had kind of flesh-colored skin. It's not quite Caucasian flesh-colored skin because the actual color change figure on the original figure, it wound up looking kind of orange. So I made his skin color a little bit orangish. But yeah, that's what that looks like right now. So here's our Snake Man with all the accessories pulled off of him, except for the loincloth. Let me get the loincloth off. And with the head pulled off of him. And he only has one head. I'll put the head back on him. We're just going to, we'll talk about the articulation real quick before we move on to anything else. But the head is reused from King Hiss. This is the snake King Hiss head. And if I can get it on right. And everything is molded in this really cool, dark, very dark, almost black green. This metallic dark green. And it's a really cool color. I really like this color. You can see he's got King Hiss arms, like the human King Hiss, and King Hiss thighs, and the upper part of the calves, and the lower part of the calves, the shin guards there, those came from 2000X Skeletor, and the head is just, or the head, like I said, King Hiss. The torso is just a standard He-Man type torso. They did not give him the torso with the lines across it. Bobby Wald says, didn't they tease Jack Nicholson that they were going to give Robin Williams the Joker part to get Jack Nicholson to commit? Yes, and that was a bone of contention that Robin Williams had for a long time because he was not happy to be used as a bargaining chip like that. And then, so when they offered him the role of the Riddler, because they did offer him the role of the Riddler in Batman Forever, he was kind of dragging his feet and, wanting a lot of money to do that, which, let's face it, Robin Williams is worth a lot of money. Let's not split any hairs. But he got some bad advice from his agent as far as that goes, because basically his agent says, look, they're going to give you as much money as you want because you're Robin Williams and nobody can do the things that Robin Williams does except Robin Williams. And then this young guy named Jim Carrey came along. So Nobody can do the things Robin Williams does, but nobody can do the things Jim Carrey does except Jim Carrey. So they were able to get him for a little bit cheaper than Robin, and he was a star on the rise, So oops. Yeah. So we almost could have had a Robin Williams Joker, but honestly, I kind of feel like WB did Robin kind of dirty, and then Robin decided to take a little bit of revenge on them, and then it wound up backfiring on him, unfortunately. So I do notice that he's just got like a plain forearm on this side. It is not the King Hiss forearm on this side. It's still the King Hiss upper arm, but this is just like a plain forearm like you see a lot of the times on the wrestling figures. This one is a King Hiss forearm and has some cool paint detail to it that isn't too obvious at first. Like part of it is still that same base color plastic, but it has a slightly lighter metallic green over it, which gives it an interesting pattern there. So I like the Snake Man figure just as it is right now. I think he looks really cool like this with no accessories whatsoever. But then you've got like a ton of accessories that you can use to customize this figure and make him look however you want. And if you buy 5 of these guys, you can make 5 different combinations of Snake Men parts that are all completely different. So I have no idea how many combinations of parts you could make, but there's a lot of cool parts here. So we're gonna do a few and see what we can work out with this. So first of all, let's go over the articulation. He can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all around. Of course, the arms rotate all around the shoulder, a slight angle. The arms can raise up to the sides about that far. He's got a single joint of articulation at the elbow, which bends in about that far, rotates all the way around. The wrists rotate all the way around, and they have a horizontal hinge, which moves back and forth. Both of those can do that. They are both gripping hands on this figure. He does not come with any extra hands. With all the extra accessories that he comes with, he does not come with any extra hands, which is kind of funny. He can rotate all the way around at the waist. He can do the splits, no problem. There we go. Necro-Conda can kick up about that far. His legs are kind of muscle bound just because it's the nature of the way that these Masters Universe figures are designed. Even with the added articulation, they can only move so far. He's got a single joint of articulation at the knee. That's about as far as that bends in, and that rotates all the way around. It is at a bit of an angle, but it does rotate. Got a boot cut, so the boot rotates all the way around where the shin guard meets the shin. And the foot can point down about that far. Really good downward pointing articulation on that foot. Foot can point up about that far, and then it rotates all the way around where the foot meets the ankle. So that is the extent of the articulation that you get on this guy. It's typical Masters of the Universe Origins articulation, that we come to expect. It's good articulation. So let's talk about some of these accessories real quick. And first of all, I want to talk about this serpent mermaid tail thing. So we can put him together like that, and he's a literal Snake Man. And I'm curious as to how well I'm going to be able to get this figure to stand up on his own. You probably have to get him balanced just right, get him turned just right. But there are lots of different ways that there's some good articulation to this snake tail, and you can get him to stand up. Is standing the right word when it's balancing on a snake tail? You can get them like that. You can see it's kind of flat on the bottom here. It's meant to stand up like that. And basically this part rotates all the way around. And it looks like it kind of moves forward and back like that. So that's cool. And then it rotates all the way around at this joint. And then that can kind of walk. It looks like it's on ball joints. And then rotate all the way around here where the hips would be if he had legs. and then that can kind of wobble around a little bit. So there's some good posability to this snake tail portion of the figure. So you can really get him to move around any which way you want to. And like I said, he's meant to kind of stand, quote unquote. And since my camera's all the way up here and my desk is all the way down here, you can't really see that. But he can stand pretty well. Just take my word for it. So, like I said, all these are reused parts. And this is one of the things I've always liked about the Masters Universe line, even going back to the 1980s, is that they were always really good about reusing parts. And they can use the parts in creative ways that, even if you know it's a reused part, you kind of look at it and, oh, that's pretty clever. So that's what this guy is. So he comes with Teela's sword, which I think is kind of odd because, the female figures are slightly smaller than the male figures. So their weapons tend to be kind of slightly smaller. So I kind of feel like this sword is a little too tiny for our snake man. But here he is holding it. And in fact, it's a little too tiny for him to even hold it because you can see the actual space that the figure is supposed to grip with his hand. You can see that he's overlapping on that, and he's actually kind of grabbing a hold of the pommel of the sword a little bit there. So it's actually like too small to fit in his hand, oddly enough. But that's okay because we got some other accessories to give him. Now we already saw the serpent claw kind of thing, and I'm probably going to put that back on him in a little bit when I put the figure back together. But here is this kind of scimitar type sword. And I don't know what character that came with originally, but I'm pretty sure that that's a sword that we've seen with another figure. But I don't know if it's one that I have. I don't remember it, honestly. So it could come with any kind of character. And then we got this dagger, which, like I said, I suspect that this dagger came with the female Snake Man character, but he can actually hold on to that pretty well. So I like the dagger. The dagger is really cool. I do kind of feel like I get what they were going for by including the Teela sword, and I'll probably just give it to one of my Teela figures, honestly. She can have a glow-in-the-dark sword. That's fine. But it doesn't work particularly well with this guy, unfortunately. And like I said about about him in his just kind of basic form, I think he looks really good with just again, without any armor at all, just like that. If you want these to be more sort of animalistic snake men, it kind of makes sense to not have the armor on them. And maybe maybe your whoever's the leader of your Necro-Conda army can wear the breastplate. And let's see if we can get the loincloth on him while he's wearing the snake tail. See what that looks like. It doesn't seem to quite want to fit on there as well as it fits on to like the regular waist, because it's a little more thick in the middle. Like if we put the torso back on there, you'll see what I'm talking about. You see how there's like a little bit of lip where the snake tail meets the torso. Not looking at him like directly frontward or backwards, but from side to side, you can see it. So that's why this loincloth isn't quite going on there as well as it potentially could. But let's see if we can get them put together with the loincloth on the snake tail anyway. It might just kind of push it more up on his chest, or it might not fit on at all. But there's what that looks like if you want to do that. So, but I think most people would probably just leave that on their on the legged version. So, and you can always put the loincloth on them even without the armor. Again, there's all kinds of different combinations you could do with this guy. You could have him with the armor and the serpent tail. Wait, so let's put the cape back on him. Yeah, like Lord Grasp came with a plastic cape, and I wish he had to come with a soft goods cape. I thought that would have been a lot cooler. The funny thing is like the original Lord Grasp, if he'd have actually gotten made in the vintage line, he would have had a soft goods cape because they were trying to avoid molding stuff. But it's a reuse of the soft good, the molded cape that came with a Scare Glow. So they're still reusing parts. So I do really like this cape. There he is with the cape and the hood. And this is with it being unencumbered by being underneath all that armor. So there's what that looks like. And I'll go ahead and put the breastplate back on him so we can see what he looks like with the cape and the hood on the outside of the breastplate. And like I said, this is reused from the Snake Armor Skeletor. And it's a pretty cool armor. So I think if I was going to make a Serpentor figure for Masters of the Universe, I'd probably wind up using the Snake Man Skeletor armor. And Serpentor would probably work better as a Masters of the Universe villain than he ever did as a G.I. Joe villain, if we're being honest. So we can put the cape on over the armor, which is probably how it should have been packaged, but they probably packaged it that way because it'd make it easier for it to fit in the package. There he is with all that put together. And we can put this gauntlet back on him, and then we'll have him fairly close to how he was when we took him out of the package in the first place. So put that back on him. Shasha. And we can put the pincers back into the gauntlet. There we go. All right. So there we go. I think that's a pretty good look at this figure. He's definitely worth picking him up. So yeah, this is a cool guy. As far as Snake Men goes, like I said, I'd had this theory that the Snake Men were cursed, and I don't mean in the toy line. I don't mean the reality of the Masters of the Universe world. I mean in real life, because it seems like every time they started introducing Snake Men into the mythos again, like 2000X, they introduced Snake Men in, the line ends. They introduced Snake Men into Master Universe Classics, the line ends. But you know what? They introduced Snake Men into Origins, and they seem to be chugging along just fine. So, technically, I guess the Origins proper line has, been pretty dormant for a while, but they did evolve into, the cartoon collection line and, various crossover lines, Turtles of Grayskull, Thundercats, X, Masters of the Universe. By the way, we do have a lot more Thundercats coming up. Like Mum-Ra was the last one I opened, but I do still have the Thundercats version of He-Man. I've got Battle Cat Man. I've got Cheetara. I've got Panthro. I still need to pick up Tigra. I don't see, Bobby Wald says, I don't see Skeletor's henchmen raiding the tombs of greatest conquerors to make Skeletor. No, they wouldn't be smart enough to do that. And even then, that was kind of a dumb plan. We'll make a new leader. Why don't you just take over as the leader? You really got that low self-esteem, you think you can't do it? You got to genetically engineer a Superman to take over as the leader of Cobra. Hell, Destro's tried to do it several times. But they found ways to make sense of it, both in the comic book and the cartoon. Because if you recall, in the comic book, originally Serpentor was not supposed to be a new leader of Cobra. He was supposed to be a super soldier. And when they wound up collecting the remains of history's greatest military minds, they wound up creating a conqueror who wound up usurping power from Cobra Commander. Oops. That was not intentional there. So that kind of made a little more sense. Likewise, on the cartoon, they actually had a reason it made more sense, because it turned out that the idea to create Serpentor had been implanted in Dr. Mindbender's brain with a psychic motivator sent by Golobulus in Cobra Law. So then it kind of makes sense that, you know, like I don't think that Dr. Mindbender would have been a good leader for Cobra. Let's make that perfectly clear. Dr. Mindbender was one of those guys who's like, while he's really intelligent, he's also stupid. You know what I mean? Like he's a brilliant scientist, but he lets his ego get in the way, and that's what makes him kind of stupid. So he probably would have been a worse leader even than Cobra Commander. But I doubt Dr. Mindbender's ego would let him see that. I think Dr. Mindbender certainly would have thought he would have been a good leader for Cobra. But the reason that he wound up creating Serpentor to be a leader is because he was basically brainwashed into it. The idea was put into his brain by an outside force. So yeah. But King Hiss was kind of like them putting Serpentor into the Masters of the Universe line anyway. King Hiss is definitely that type of character. He fits into that sort of archetype of, you know, the Snake Man, obviously. But I want to say that King Hiss and Serpentor, even though visually they're kind of similar, I don't think that one influenced the other, because I think they both came out around the same time as I recall anyway. Bobby Wald says that's why you don't get a mad dentist as your supreme ruler. Yeah, when I opened up the Dr. Mindbender figure and I put the picture of him up on Instagram, that was the music that I picked for the picture was Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors. I thought that fit him just perfectly. But anyway, I think that's it for the Necro-Conda. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe, so I like to say like and subscribe. Hit the little bell if that's still a thing. I haven't seen the little bell in a while. I hope he's doing okay. I like it when you leave comments, so please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the Necro-Conda, and you know, if he's going to be a part of your Masters of the Universe collection going forward. But definitely make sure that you like the video if you liked the video. Even if you didn't like the video, go ahead and give me a like, you know, just to be nice. Or you can hit the thumbs down if you want, whatever. It's still engagement. I don't really care. But yeah, definitely like and subscribe. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe. So I like to say like and subscribe, because then it sends it out to more people. And then more people see the video, more people like, and more people subscribe. It's all cyclical. I'll be back on the next episode. Excuse me. I'm going to follow my original plan that I had, and I'm going to open up this Shazam figure that I got for cheap. You see, it says $12. I want to say I paid even less than that when it rung up at the register, because that happens sometimes. But I got him for cheap, and I wasn't sure what I was. I figured he'd be good for custom parts, really, but I wasn't sure what. But hey, look, it's now Halloween time, and I've got a creepy vampire figure to open up. I've got this Vampire Shazam. Some nice artwork on the back there. We'll talk more about that when I open him up. But yesterday, I did get something really cool that if I had known I was going to get him, I probably would have planned on opening him up next. But I got the DC Multiverse, the classic Scarecrow figure. So I'm excited about that one. This is a perfect Halloween figure. If I'd have known he was going to show up yesterday, I probably would have planned on opening him today. But I'm already committed. I'm going to open up Shazam. I'm going to open up Shazam, and then I'm going to open up Scarecrow on the next episode after that. And we're almost to Halloween, and I've got some special figures that I've been waiting to open up towards the end of the month. So we're going to have some cool stuff to open still yet. There's always something creepy to open around here because it's always Halloween. I can always dig up something. Hell, I've got more Snake Men I can open. I've got Cobra Khan. I've got Beast Man. Beast Man's a monster, isn't he? We can. Dominic Z is here and he says hi. Unfortunately, we're at the very end of the episode though, so but you can go back and watch the replay. But yeah, we're just wrapping things up. I'm just about done. So again, make sure that you like and subscribe. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe. So I'll say like and subscribe again. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the, I think that's the way his tail is supposed to go. I was trying to figure out which end was first. I think it's this. This is the side that goes forward, where it's got these kind of long, vertical striped scales. I think that's how that's supposed to go. But anyway, I've actually got 2 of these. So after I finish up this video, I'm going to open up the second one, and I'll put him into a different configuration, and I can have 2 different versions of this guy in the thumbnail since he's got so many extra parts. But I better get right on that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next time. Bye. And hit the end stream thing and wait for the stream to end because